All right, 7th graders, let's review for the quiz tomorrow. So back to probability. You have to know the difference in finding probability, which is the number of events out of the total, and how are you going to have to write that tomorrow. You have two different ways that you can express probability. Remember, Garrett?
As a percent and as a fraction.
Correct, as a percent and as a fraction. Yep. So, you're going to have to be able to write 1 out of 6 and 16.7%. Okay? Any questions on that? Or, you'll be able to have to be able to find the probability of more than one thing. That's the two things together out of the total. AJ, get focused here. Yeah, just put that away. So the two things, if you're talking about dice, if you're the chances of rolling a 1 or a 2 are 2 out of 6, which is 1/3, or how would you round that to the nearest 10%, Sam? Come on, focus here. What is it? Who knows? Sam? 33.3%. Right, Laura? That's the one you had on the assignment for today. 33.3% is 1/3. Okay? The complement, you have to know what the complement is, or what it means. What is a complement to the probability? Gracie? Yeah, it's the opposite, right? So if the chances of rolling a 1 are 1 in 6, the chances of not rolling a 1, the probability of not rolling a 1 is the complement to that, or 5 out of 6, or 83.3%. Okay? You also have to know how to find odds in favor of something. That's a ratio. It's not a fraction or a percentage. It's a ratio. Okay? So the odds in favor of rolling a 2 or a 3. What's the odds in favor of rolling a 2 or a 3 out of 6? Out of 6 sides. The odds in favor of rolling a 2 or a 3. Adam. No, not 2 over 6. That'd be 2 out of the total, right? We're talking about odds. Remember, odds are the chances of it happening over the chances of not happening. 2 over 4, or 1 to 1/2. So 1 to 2. You'd say that as a ratio. So you'd say it as 1 to 2. Yes?
On the quiz, you want us to write as a ratio or as a fraction?
If it asks for the odds in favor or odds against, then you have to write it as a ratio. Okay? If it's asking for the probability, then you'll have to write it as a fraction and a percent. Okay?
Can we write a note card for this?
No, not for the quiz. You have to study this.
Can we use a calculator?
Yes, you'll be able to use a calculator. Yeah. Okay, what about the odds against? How is that different than odds in favor? Oh, I have a question about the other one.
When you're doing the odds in favor, do you have to do a percent and a fraction or just a fraction?
No, just the fraction, because it's just a ratio. Okay? Remember, a percentage is out of a total. Anytime you're finding percent, you're finding an amount out of the total. On odds, you're not finding an amount out of the total. You're finding the amount of favorable, or the ones that you want, versus the what, Max?
Versus the unfavorable odds.
Right, or the ones that you don't want. Very good. Yep. So, the unfavorable, how would you write the odds against something? How would you change that? Sam?
You put like the thing you want, so if it was like not 6, you would have that on the bottom.
Yeah, you put that on the bottom.
You put the other ones on the top.
Right. The ones that you don't want to happen go on the top. The one that you do want to happen goes on the bottom. Does that make sense? Laura? Okay. Good. Now, let's go through fractions, decimals, and percents. Okay? And especially these on the back side. These are the level that you have to be able to do. The ones that we had a little bit of trouble with today. Okay? So, for example, finding the percent, or sorry, finding the fraction when the percent is 0.08%. How would you find the fraction? What would you do? How would you find the fraction for this?
Divide by 100.
First divide by 100. So don't move it to the right. When you're multiplying 100, you move it to the right. When you're dividing by 100, you move the decimal place to the left. Write the decimal form first. So that would be 0.0008. Right? Now, read this fraction. Or sorry, this decimal. And write it as a fraction. What is that? 8 10,000. So 8 over 10,000 and reduce it. What is that reduced? What would you do? Okay, divide it by 2. So you can start that. That would be 4 over what? 5,000.
Divided by 4.
Divided by 4?
Yeah.
What would that be? We have to reduce this all the way to simplest form.
Oh, got it.
Yes?
It would be 1 over 1,250.
50.
Very good. Okay? How about this? 1 3/5 to a percent.
I know this
How would you do that? What would you do, Asa? Go ahead.
one. You do 5 plus 3 equals the 1.
Change it to a what first?
Decimal.
You mean a decimal?
Yes.
What would the decimal be? Amelia. Very good. 1 6/10. And then change it to a percent. We got to move it over 2 places. 160%. Okay. Any questions on that? So, make sure that you can do these type of problems where the numbers are not just, 50%. And change that to a fraction. There'll be a little bit harder numbers than that. Okay? So you need to practice, especially practice the ones on the practice side over here. Alright? Because I'll probably pull some questions right from this page for your quiz. Okay? Everybody understand what to do?